lovelies, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Omotola. If you're new here or you're just joining us for the first time, my name is Omotola. Welcome you back to our lovely space. Today we have a good topic. We're going to be talking about the families coming into the UK, and we have a very special guest in the house. In fact, let me say we have two special guests in the house because there are two that become one, but then we still have to introduce them one by one. But before we get into that, this is the second installment in the series of my Japa stories. If you're familiar with the channel, you know that I started a series on my Japa realities, and that has just been people's experience with childcare and all of that. But in this series, we are going to be talking about people's experience, mainly YouTubers here in the YouTube space, talking about the experience coming into the UK and how they found the journey so far. And today is the second, or today we're filming the second installment, and we have this lovely couple. Let them introduce themselves to you.
You go first.
All right. Hey guys, my name is Dfabfamily, and with me is my beautiful wife.
My name is Abigail Showale, and we are the Fab Family.
Yeah, so we are a family living here in the UK, a family of 4. We have 2 wonderful children.
Thank you so much for joining us. The Fab Family is on the channel today, you guys, and I am stoked to have them here. Thank you guys so much for honoring my invitation, and I hope that with today's video, people will get to know you a little better, and just we want to get to know you. So we're going to be asking you questions about the decision, right from decision making up until now. What was it like? How short or how long was the process for you? Were you into the old UK movement, or was it something that you just came up? Tell us about your journey down here to the UK.
All right, beautiful. Yeah, so to start with, personally, I'm not an abroad kind of person. Yeah, I did not have like a long-term plan to live abroad. Just travel out, have fun, then come back to Nigeria. But I think my wife had always had some sort of not a well laid down plan, but it was like a vision that at some point she would be out of the country even before we got married. So about 2 years ago, she applied for a course in Nigeria, but it did not work out due to some Nigerian factors. Then an opportunity presented itself for us to travel into the UK to study not exactly the same course, but something similar. Yeah, so and it wasn't a long-term plan. It came very suddenly. Yes, and we had just had our second child. She was just a few months old, I think at the time. We had just had our second child, so the process was really, really fast. Like, we did not even have our transcript from the university, so it wasn't planned. So immediately we came together, we decided together, then we started the process January last year. So the process just took about 7 months.
6-7 months.
Yeah. 6-7 months. Yeah. So it wasn't a long-term plan.
I think you forgot to mention that we had a discussion with our friend. I remember that day, David, we were in the car and so just this person has traveled, this person has traveled. We were like, where are they all going to? We said UK now. That UK has opened the door. She was not telling us about everything, that it's very easy, just apply, do this, do that. Then I was pregnant and I was like, if we do it now, I can't give birth there because the time was so short. So we're not like, let's just try if it will work. And then I just told him at first I felt he would say no, he's not going anywhere because he has no plan to Japa or anything. But when I told him, I think he himself was already frustrated with the country. He was like, oh yeah, let's try. So we tried and it just worked out. We had different, I applied to different schools. In fact, we had a list of schools.
Yeah.
So as they were giving us the offers, we were taking this on condition and this on condition. We had about 15 conditional offers, because we took our time to apply to the schools before we decided to go with University of Derby.
I know for some different people, the story is different, and I feel like your timeline still falls within the ballpark of what most people have experienced, especially like for us as well. I think it was within that 6 months as well. Yeah. So you guys, let's get into deeper waters. All right. So coming into the UK, obviously, because at this time you just said that you had a 2-month-old, and making that decision to come, as a woman, I already know what the answer is. But I want to hear it from your own mouth, especially from mommy. I want to hear it from you. I want you to say, like,
I'm not
how was
mommy, oh. It's because of this Agbada I put in.
Yeah, the moment of the house now.
I'm a small girl.
I want to hear from you. Like, how was it? Like, how was the decision making? Like, I think that was what even attracted me to your channel. Like, it was the video you made about, you leaving your children back home. And I'm like, hey, if my husband saw this video, and I'm like, different strokes for different folks. Like,
That's
I
true.
will not be able to exist or function. How was it for you?
Do you need water to start?
I don't
You will need
even know.
water.
I think so. It was the most, it was, at first, I didn't accept. It's not like
Wow.
something you just wake up and say, okay, yes, we will do it. I was in denial
Hmm.
up to when it was now time to, it was when we got to the point of paying for the visa. I thought that we were delaying this thing because we were still looking for, our major issue was the finance,
Hmm.
obviously. So when it was now time to do the visa, I was like, hey, God. Even when we applied, I still had faith. I was still praying and, using faith that one way or the other, let's even take this baby, just the baby, let's leave the other one. So it was very difficult. So I won't, it's,
I won't let you get emotional because I know how heart wrenching it must have been for you at the time. Because
it
it
was,
is easier said than done. It is
it
easier, and your
is.
children were a lot younger than mine, so I can't even begin to imagine how it must have felt. But that's all in the past now. We know that the
Mm,
family is together now.
mm.
My question now is to Dfab Daddy. Um, why? Or the question is not even really why, or is how have you been coping? Like, how is life back then, you know, without the children, and now that the children are here? Because I saw one vlog that already told me the answer, but I want to hear it from your own mouth. How has it been? How have you been coping?
Well, it's a two-way thing. The first is that I don't know how to explain saying that I'm a family man in the sense that I love my family so much. So it
Yeah.
just feels like I can't function properly without my family. On my wedding day, I cried. When I gave birth to our first child, I cried. When I gave birth to our second child, I cried. So
Mm.
I get, when it concerns my family, like I get really, really emotional. I'm a family man. So before the children came here, apart from the emotional gap, we were able to do a lot of things
Mm.
that we couldn't have done if the children were here.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's part of the things we're really grateful to God for that we're able to do. We're able to sort a lot of things like accommodation. I mean, our accommodation was really easy because we did not have children.
Yeah.
And we have friends also here in the UK that it took months for them to get accommodation because they had children, not because they couldn't afford it. I mean, of course, they had proof of fund, they could afford it. We knew they could afford it. But you know how landlords can be whenever they know you have children, it just
Yeah.
becomes more difficult to get accommodation. But it was really easy for us. It was easy for us to settle down, to settle in, even to get jobs. There were times my wife and I would go to work together. At times we won't see ourselves in maybe more than 24 hours.
Yeah.
She has gone for night shifts and going for morning shifts like that. We couldn't have been able to do that without
With
children. So we were
children.
able to work
Yeah.
properly. And we're also able to sort jobs because at some point I had two jobs. Now I was contemplating doing this or doing that. So it's
Yeah.
like going for night shift for one job, doing day shift for the other job. There's
Mm.
no way I can do that with children
With the
around
children.
because
Yeah.
children themselves, full-time job. It's even more than full-time job. So when the children came in, part of the benefit was that they came into a very settled environment.
Mm.
So it was easy for everybody to cope. Now the downside is just that, of course, the first thing is that there's no sleep. It's not like there's no sleep for the wicked, but it's
The sleep
just, I mean, it's
is
a
There's
gone.
lot
no
of
He's,
sleep.
responsibility.
he's
Sleep
just
is,
gone. He's gone.
I can't
But your
remember.
children are older. You should be sleeping. Please encourage me that it will get better.
I can't lie to you. I can't lie to
Go
you.
there.
I will not lie to you.
Oh,
Yeah, because it's just a whole lot of responsibility, which
yeah.
we are grateful we even have that responsibility, but we're just finding ways to deal with it. Sometimes it even affects going to church. Of course, we go
Yeah.
to church, but the timeline just doesn't fit. And having proper rest, having proper family time. We're just trying to
Proper rest.
shuffle childcare because our children are still below 3. They haven't started school yet. So we have to be home with them at every point in time. Someone has to be at home with them. But
Yeah.
we're finding ways around it to make sure everything works together.
Yeah, I honestly understand because as a family person myself, I know the struggles of having to juggle childcare with work. And, there's sometimes that you can't even do some jobs because of childcare.
Yeah.
And it also limits the number of hours you can work. I would say that one of the advantages also that you guys might have enjoyed is the fact that you were able to also save during the time that the children were still in Nigeria. I believe that you guys would have been able to work back to back, and that's one of the benefits of a country like this where there are jobs, like the job availability, and you're able to work and save. If you're not someone who's a spendthrift, so yeah, I believe that it had advantages as well as disadvantages, and obviously with the sleep and having to shuffle your time with everything, it gets better because with time, even the children will fall into a routine. I won't say it's all bad. I would say that the children, with time, they will understand that, okay, daddy will be sleeping at this time, mommy will be sleeping at this time. Even sometimes they might even ask you, daddy, are you going to be at home today? Is it mommy who's going to be at home today? So, yeah, with time, they will fall into a routine. I won't say it's all bad, but yeah, it will get better with time. It will get just that, with the way the country is structured, you can't just leave them by themselves. And there's nobody, like there's no neighbor.
No
That's another
neighbor.
thing I wanted to
No
touch on.
one.
Yeah. Do you have like a Nigerian community where you are, where you can, liaise with people, to have people watch your children while you go on shift? It could be just for a couple of hours. Obviously, I don't expect you guys to work at the same time. Maybe do day shifts at the same time or do night shift at the same time where you don't have to spend the whole night. All those kind of things. I don't know how it works with you, but with me, I would say that it's better for one person to do a day shift and the other person to take on the night shift, so that at least there's structure. You can also give your employer your availability so that they can work your rota with your spouses. I know some of them do that. I had an employer who actually took that into consideration. So it can only get better. It can only get better. All right. So um, in terms of the children and how they have been coping, have you noticed anything with how they were like in Nigeria? Okay, my question right now is getting them back into the country. Did you feel like a certain disconnect? Um, Obviously, it's an obvious question. There might be some resistance from children because I know that children have a really short span when it comes to their memory, and they might not remember that playful mom or dad moment. But how was it like reconnecting with the children when you got them back?
Well, I think we didn't have any difficulty reconnecting with them. It wasn't difficult to because we were always in touch. Like even our baby, when we speak on the phone, I know she's just a child, but I felt like she had some kind of recognition that
All
this
right.
is my mom. I don't think she knows her dad though. But then whenever I call, there's always this like she
Excitement.
changes. Everything changes. And even my mom over there will be like, I think this girl knows you. So even when we connected, in fact, at the airport, my other daughter, she's going to be 3 in June. So she just shouted, "Mommy!" So she knows that she knows her dad. There was no, I don't think, or do you think we had?
Yeah, well, for me, it was with our first daughter because whenever we spoke over the phone and she hears my voice, the first thing she'll do is she'll run around,
You,
she'll jump, daddy, 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 daddy. So because I was the one that traveled home to get them over, when she saw me, she was shocked. I could read that
yeah.
shock. And someone asked her, she was shocked, and someone asked her, who is this? She said, daddy. And I carried her, and she was looking at me like this.
Yeah,
Wow.
where have you been?
For about 4 hours, she did not say a word. She would look down, look at me again. I know this guy. She would look down again. It was the next morning that she now started acting normally. So they still recognize us. The disconnect wasn't huge because we were always in touch, like my wife said.
Yes, yes.
And that's good. That's good because I know that for a lot of people, who planned to bring in family a lot quicker, and things turned out to, make it elongated. They noticed some disconnects with their children, and then they probably weren't in touch. So it's a couple of factors that could lead to that. So I'm glad that the reconnection was not something that was forced. It was more of a, this
It
is
was
where
natural.
we're
Yeah.
picking up. Yes, it's natural. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's great to hear. How's the living expenses been? Obviously to go up, but have you noticed? Have you noticed? Let me land now. Have you
Sorry,
noticed
guys.
any huge spike in your expenses in terms of electricity, food, obviously, and whatnot?
Electricity, the first month we paid higher because we had to keep the heater
All
running
right.
because they were new. Obviously, they were new in the country, so we had to keep the house warm. If it was just the both of us, we don't even mind putting on our winter jackets in the house. But because of little children, so we paid more. We are still paying more. Only God knows. Maybe
It's
summer now.
warmer now. Yeah, it's warmer
Yeah,
now.
Yeah,
So
calm down.
we've stopped putting the eating on for now, so maybe it will calm down. And then as regards food, I was just telling, was it you I was telling which day that I'm always buying something. And the terrible thing is, Aldi is just close to our house. Whenever I'm coming
um,
from work, I pass through. There's always
make it
something I'm
worse.
buying. Something will always finish, which wasn't like that before. So now we definitely are spending more on
Yeah,
food, especially we are spending more. Always buying
yeah.
something. I don't
And how are they adjusting to the food here as well?
know. I don't. We don't eat the food yet.
Okay, that's good.
If you understand what I mean, we
That's good.
still cook
Yeah.
our. Try to incorporate some changes, but we still cook
Mm.
our
Yeah,
normal.
nothing so drastic.
Nothing.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
All right. That's good. Just as we round up, what advice do you have for families coming in? Would you advise them to go through the same route as you went, um, coming in as a couple first, or coming in as the husband or the wife first, and then bringing in your family? Or would you say, I don't advise anybody to go through the same emotional strain that I went through. Do this or do this or do this. Or what is your advice for people coming in after?
And I think very recently, my wife and I, we had to ask ourselves that at the time, if everything we needed at the time we came in, if we had everything we needed for everybody to travel together, do you think we still have made the same decision to come ahead of the children, or maybe a different decision? And I think we had different answers. For me, I said I felt we would still have come ahead of the children because apart from the financial part, there's still a lot of benefit you can get from it. I saw my friends that struggled, my friends with children, the way they struggled, and I did not want that for myself. And I don't pray
Mm.
for anybody I know to experience something like that. It's just better you are here first. It could be one of the parents, it could be both of you. If the only condition is if you have safe and capable hands to put your children with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without that, don't even try it. Don't try
Mm.
it. But if you have someone you can trust with your life, that you can keep your children with, then both of you can come here first. It will benefit the whole family in the long run. Sort out everything you need to sort out, your jobs, your routine, your accommodation, even the children's school. Because when we
Yeah.
got our new accommodation, we considered our job and we considered our proximity to our children's school when they are going to start school. So everything was sorted before they came in. So for me, I would advise, if you can, if your mental capacity can handle it and your emotional threshold can
Mm.
handle it, I think it's good. I would advise anybody to do that. Come ahead of your children and saw things before they come. But I think my wife has a different line.
No, I only had a different answer because I had a baby. My own
Mm.
case was peculiar. I
Yeah.
had a baby. So I said I would have come with the baby at least. But if you have children that are grown up, let's say from 3, even from 2, it's easier. But honestly, it is very easy to settle when it's just both of you. Imagine going to look for accommodation and you are dragging 2, 3 children along with you. even the agents the person showing you the house they won't put you at the forefront. They will put
Mm.
others that don't have
Yeah.
additional
Children. Yeah.
attachments. They will put them ahead of you. So
Mm.
it's just better to come. And I know some people that only one of them will come. If they don't have capable hands to leave their children with, the wife can come first, the student can
Yeah.
come first, while the husband stay back or the
Yeah.
dependents stay back with the children. And within 2 weeks or 1 month after they've settled accommodation, they come. So I think it's easier to settle in a place where you don't know what the future will, you don't even know how it is. You don't
Yeah.
just want to bring children into, and in this country they don't play with children.
Mm-mm.
We heard a story of one man sleeping in the train station. I'm not sure. I don't think anyone wants to go through that.
Yeah.
So when it concerns children or it concerns your family's comfortability, what's the English? You
The
should
comfort for your family. Yeah.
yes, you should put that first. I know some people say, I cannot leave my like you said, I cannot leave them, I cannot leave them. But you had it easy, right? You when you came in, it
I
was
didn't actually have it easy, to
Yeah,
be
I wanted
honest.
to say
I
that
don't even know.
because
I
I've
don't
seen
think
some
I
of your
shared my
videos.
phone.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't think I had it easy because we stayed with some people for a
oh yeah,
while.
I think
Yeah.
I watched that
Yeah.
video when we were still in Nigeria, by the way.
yeah.
We watched all
I
Really?
think
your
we should even
videos.
say that. Yes,
We
your
watched
relocation
all
video.
your
I've heard
videos.
you mention Middlesbrough. I've heard you mention Darlington.
Yeah.
I
It was
think you
still in
came to.
Darlington.
I think you came into the UK from Nigeria, not South Africa. I think we've
Mhm.
seen maybe even almost all of the
Yeah,
videos.
you were one of the YouTubers we were
Yes,
watching while doing
before
the
we yes,
process and
Really?
yeah.
Sorry, just out of curiosity, how old was your baby when you left her?
she was 3 months.
Nathan was 3 months. Yes,
3 months.
And she was 11 months when you brought them in.
8 months.
Yes.
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 All right. Right. But wow. That you man, you really you kept in touch. That's it's really commendable. You're the student, right?
Yes, I am.
That's really commendable. Really commend because I hardly have time for phone video
For
call.
phone.
What's that?
When you have something back home,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
will,
Yeah.
yeah,
yes. So I'm
definitely,
always
definitely.
almost every day. If I don't call,
Really
they will even
commendable.
call me. Yeah. Yeah.
That's really commendable. My heart goes out to you, you guys. When the rumors, when the rumors of the UK to stop dependence, when it started, I think that was in as far back as September or October last year. That was
Mm.
when I started hearing about it. The government already
Yes.
started talking about it. There were talks already, and I'm like, Fab Family. I didn't know you from anywhere. I only
Mhm.
saw you on YouTube, and I'm like, hey, this family, they haven't brought their children yet. These people, and I know that sometimes they make really swift decisions, and I
Yeah.
know that it may not be as abrupt as some places that we're used to where they can just choose to remove subsidy, but to just I know that they can choose to make this decision really quickly, and lots of
Mhm.
people were also in that situation as well. I'm like, "Ah, my God, I hope that these children can be able to come in." And thankfully, when I saw that video of you going home, I'm like, hallelujah, glory to God. The
Oh,
family is
thank
coming back
you.
together. And I actually shed a tear when I saw that video.
Oh,
Oh,
Not
a
the
lot
part
of
two.
people did.
Yeah, the part one, it was so emotional because I could see that both of you were actually recording at the same time. He was recording and you were recording as well. At some point, Dfab mommy, she threw phone away. She did not record again. I say, this one has not even left. Auntie has not recording again. Will we see video to watch like this? She had already stopped. She put the phone down. She was not recording again. I say, it
Oh,
is
dear.
well. But you guys went through a lot. Let's just
Yeah, we
say
did too.
you went through a lot.
Emotionally, it was. So that's why when people ask me, what do you think? I say, if your mind cannot carry it, don't do it
yeah.
because
No.
you go
I don't
through.
think everybody is as emotionally capable of doing
Mm,
that.
yeah.
Personally, I don't think I am because I'm
Well,
someone that if my husband, well, if he travels for 2 weeks, ah, I won't wear my clothes again. It's clothes I will be wearing because I
you
can't
love it
function.
too much.
I, I don't know whether I'm like that. And my name is not Ruth. So I don't know. I don't know. So I don't know. You
Well,
guys,
to that, I think what I always tell people is you never know how far you can go until you go too far.
Mm.
Once you get to a point
I
that
actually
you
think
just
you're right.
don't be, I mean, it's not something we planned for. It's
Yeah.
not as if when we started processing, we already saw it that, okay, we won't go. No, we're planning for everybody at the same time. But when we got to a point that, huh, someone like,
And
this
it
is
was either that or all of us will
or
stay.
everybody will stay
Stay.
back.
And
Yeah.
that wasn't an option. That's
No,
not
we
an
are.
option. Mm.
And actually,
I'm
we are doing
really
it
glad.
for them.
Yeah.
So let's just take the
I'm
sacrifice
really
now.
glad it worked out. I'm really glad
Yeah.
because so many people planned like this, and some of them are still back there. Some of them are still here without the children. And oh, God has been faithful. God has been merciful. We're here today. Everybody's together, and I'm glad. I'm glad that it ended in praise. All right, you guys. So for the final words, I'm just going to be leaving the floor open to more Dfab mom and dad to just close this video for us. So you guys, their channel handle will be in the description box. I will also tag them in this video. So if you see a blue mark in the title, it will be their channel name. Just click on it, subscribe to their channel. They have amazing content. Right now, they're putting out more of family content, taking the children out to the park. Mom, I saw you with the girls in the park, and I'm like,
Yeah. I've
my kind
always
of
wanted
videos, my kind of
I've
stuff.
always
I love that
wanted
kind of
to do
too.
that.
Yeah, it was really fun to watch. I'm like, yes. A lot of my subscribers say, oh, we love these kind of videos. We love you taking the children out. And I feel like in this country where it is so easy to get carried away with shifts and
Yeah.
resting and work pattern, family is a very essential core of the UK, as it were. And I would believe that anybody who's looking to come into this kind of environment should have that at the back of their mind, because it is very easy to let go of family. And
Yeah, it is.
yeah, it's very good to prioritize family as well and personal time, because before you know it, you can lose yourself to so much routine and all of that. Yeah. All right, so I'm throwing the floor open to you guys.
Yeah.
You want to go first?
No, you go first.
Yeah, I think the general advice I would just give to families that are intending to do this is, please, for both parents, always be on the same page. It is really, really important. Always be on the same page. Because I've seen families here, we eventually came together with their children, and things are not just going well. If something happens or if they're struggling, you see the blame game going on. The husband is blaming the wife. You're the one that said we should do this. So once when the wife is blaming the husband, and it's not really good. So please always be on the same page. On the same page. Plan together, pray together, and you achieve success quicker. It really helps. And please, guys, if you are watching this video and you haven't subscribed to Tola Lusi's page, please do so ASAP.
Yeah.
Because as my wife mentioned, it was one of the YouTube channels that really helped us before we even came into the UK. And it's been a great honor and a very great privilege to be here.
Yeah. When he told me Tola Lucy said she wants me to say, who did you say?
I'm the one who is honored to have you guys here on the channel, because you guys are a force to be reckoned with right now in the YouTube space. Thank you so much for honoring my invitation. I hope I'll get to invite you guys back here on the channel to do a recap or a update on what the living experience is right now. And obviously, I think I'm going to be calling Dfab mommy to come and do another video. I have another video idea in mind that I want you to be a part of. It's for women, and yeah, so definitely I'll carry you. I'll carry you along. I'll carry you along with that one as well. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button. It does a lot to help my analytics here on YouTube, and also gets other people to see this video. To also subscribe if you haven't done so already to both channels. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Goodbye.
Bye.